Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Techniche Tips. I'm your host and founder, Joseph M. Smith, and like always, I have another one for you. And this one is special. I know I say that all the time, but this one is special. We had a precursor to this conversation a while ago when we had Howard on, and he talked about all the things that he was doing. And then he mentioned a conference called ByteCon. And so I wanted to make sure that for those that were there, of course, that they were able to get some more information on this. So yes, we did talk about it, but now I have the founder of ByteCon himself, Temante, with us. Hi, Temante. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How you doing, Joseph? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing well as well. I'm so glad to have you. And so I just wanted to say, family, as you're watching this, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Like always, if you can, if you find that you found any value in any conversation that we've had up to this point, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone else. And so we're going to get into the story of Temante and everything that he has going on. Again, this is a conversation. So glad again to have you, Temante, with us. It's very exciting.
I'm excited to be here and ready to dive in.
Yeah. So, but first of all, let's just catch people up on who is Tamante now. They may be like, okay, uh, that sounds great and all, but who is Tamante? Can you talk a little bit about who you are, and then we'll dive into your story?
Sure. Yeah. Temante is a founder, entrepreneur, also balancing the corporate life, working at Microsoft as a content developer. ByteCon is also a nonprofit as well, in addition to our conference, dedicated to impacting 1 million people from underrepresented and underserved communities, and impacting the pipeline of 1 million technologists from underserved and underrepresented communities. So that's the mission on the foundation side. And we're actually to that point where we're doing a innovation challenge with Microsoft right now, where we're engaging 1,000 learners to skill them up on our Azure developer credentials.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about it because you right now you're on site Miami. Is that where you're originally from, or did you grow up someplace else? And how did you transition over to being a content creator within the tech space?
Yeah, so I'm originally from North Carolina, originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. Been in South Florida for quite a while. Um, my journey is I mean, the short of it is I knew I wanted to be a lawyer for a long time. Um, the only reason I came to South Florida was to attend law school, was now St. Thomas University, excuse me, St. Thomas University, Ben Crump College of Law. And I have been down here ever since I finished law school. I did some stuff in the legal space, worked at some firms. Um, then I got into teaching law and business courses at the college and university level.
Nice.
Became a founder of a ed tech startup company called Class Updates, which was
Oh wait, you get
uh,
a founder back then?
yeah. That
Oh
was
wow.
a communication tool for teachers and students to use. We use push notifications for them to communicate with each other.
Oh
Um,
nice.
yeah. So the combination of that experience, of working in education, being a founder, being an entrepreneur, having a law and business background, there was an opportunity that opened up at Microsoft in 2019, focused on working in our education, working with our education customers, in particular, like, decision makers, folks who have the budget to make technology decisions on, hardware, software for their students. And it wasn't a sales role, but it was a quasi sales role. That was my first opportunity at Microsoft, was in that role. I saw the opportunity open up. I went for it. I tell people, never let an opportunity pass you by if you see one. So when I saw that the opportunity open up, I pretty much immediately applied because it jumped out at me as a perfect opportunity to get my foot in the door. And pretty much the rest is history. I will say though, it did start as a retail role as opposed to being in kind of more of a corporate role like I am now. I had to be okay with that, having a master's, having a doctorate, and working in a role that might not have reflected my my education and experience. But I was also very excited to have the opportunity to work at Microsoft. So it didn't really matter because I knew that I was gonna excel and not be in the same, role my whole time, right? So figured, after a year or so, look for other opportunities, which I did. I've held several different roles at Microsoft. I'll be going into my 5th year in August, and currently my team creates. I'm a content developer. We create and maintain and update content for our customers, learning content, and also self-help support content for our customers.
Yeah, and I want to dive back to the edtech space real quickly because you mentioned it just now, and I was like, wait a second. So you did have a brush up with technology early on. Did you decide to say, you know what, from law to logic in regards to like a logic board, I need to combine these two. I need to get into technology. That passion, where did that come from specifically?
I noticed, I would say mostly like in the classroom, I was using when they introduced like iPads to the students, like as
Yeah,
opposed to laptops, and wanted the teachers to start integrating, using the iPad
smart
in,
board.
learning, right, and smartboard, right. So I was a part of that, not knowing how revolutionary that was. I mean, I knew it was revolutionary, but not realizing that I was actually, really part of,
You're a pioneer.
that pioneering it, because I didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
Like they were like, look, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. We're using these apps in order to facilitate and deliver our, on our competencies and what we're trying to teach the students. And we're doing things different. We're doing things outside of the box. So if I
yeah.
was in that at the time, the school's not open anymore, but at the time that was actually at Brown Mackie College, and
Mm-hmm.
they literally had the Apple trainers come in and train us teachers, get us certified on how to use different apps. Not knowing I would be doing kind of the same thing, because I didn't tell you that in my first role at Microsoft, it did require a lot of training too. All I touched upon was the quasi sales part. We did a lot of training as well when it came to our customers and students, but in particular teachers and faculty, and especially during the COVID era, when we had to train on like how to take a physical classroom and do it fully virtual, right? And using
Yeah.
our technology to in order to do that. So it's crazy how stuff comes full circle, because that's how it all started with Apple and the iPads back when I first started, or a little after I first started. I think that was like 2014, like 10 years ago, right? When that first happened. I realized, man, like and then I got used to teaching using technology, using different apps. I guess kind of early to that whole pedagogy. And so when the opportunity came about to become a co-founder of the tech startup, helping teachers and students stay connected and communicate, I was actually able to use and pitch our app to educators and to the institutions that I was working at, just as I would any other tool, right, that I was using that I wasn't the co-founder of, right? But the neat thing was it was mine. It was our so I was
So
able to
so
go ahead.
proprietary.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, well, we had a little team, but
Yeah.
and it was cool because we did get, we got a lot of support from educators, locally and beyond, who were using class updates and using it with their students, because they had the academic freedom to, that's a good thing about higher ed. You do have academic freedom, so you could use different tools and different, innovative ways to reach the students. And so that was really cool. And then even the students are like, wow, you're the founder of this. And, just having them download it right there,
Yeah.
like while I'm pitching it, and like,
Social
hey,
proof right there.
yeah, try it out, right? Like, message your friend. You can, we had a nice run, but it was just a natural kind of extension of what I was doing in the classroom with the students. But now I'm behind it, the business side of whatever I shouldn't say whatever, but of class updates. So that's how that, it was an adventure. We had a good run.
Hmm.
I did the pitch competitions and the conferences, the whole founder journey,
Yeah, yeah,
so to
yeah,
speak, right? When it came to that experience, and
yeah,
we weren't able to scale it and raise, obviously, which is probably not a surprise, but it was an experience that I think helped me get where I'm at. So I don't have any regrets.
yeah. And I think that when we look back on our stories, and that's why I love to evaluate people's stories, we can see the paper trail that ties things together. Where it's like, okay, you wanted to do law, you're bent in towards making changes in society, making changes which actually kind of work hand in hand with education. Then you kind of stumble in as a pioneer in technology in the educational space, and look at the trail of that leading to where you are right now with Bicon. And so now
Yeah.
let's make that switch to talk about Bicon, because it is coming up in a few weeks, and I want people to be able to get an idea of the fact that this was a concept and now it's becoming a reality. Let's talk about the inception of Bicon, the seeds that were planted there, and now the fruit that you're bearing from that idea.
Yeah. So Bicon, it started on the campus of Florida Memorial University, which is the only HBCU in South Florida. In 2022, we launched it there intentionally. We wanted to launch it at a place and a space for the underserved and underrepresented community. And again, with Florida Memorial being the only HBCU in South Florida and one of the few in the state, we were very proud to launch it there. We're going into our third year now in 2024. We have 60 speakers, a little more than 60 speakers. It's going to be a 2-day conference on April 25th and April 26th. There'll be a combination of keynotes, fireside chat, panels, breakout sessions. We'll have some other cool stuff as well at the conference. Super awesome speakers, people from Microsoft and companies like Cisco and Google and others who are trailblazing and are going to be there to share their knowledge and their expertise with the attendees. ByteCon is an educational experience. It's an entertainment experience, a networking experience. It's a learning experience, and we focus on emerging technologies like Web3, but not just Web3. So our folks don't get left behind um, when it comes to things like blockchain, and when it comes to things like cryptocurrency, and when it comes to artificial intelligence, for example. We really want to make sure that we don't expect everybody to become subject matter experts about those, about the emerging technologies, but we do want our community to at least have an access point to learn and we like as many people as possible to at least be familiar with how these emerging technologies can play a role in your life, and how they will play a role in your life, and how you can leverage them to do better and be better. So we don't want anybody to get left behind is the simple of it. We're helping to bridge that divide.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point in regards to not making sure people are left behind and keeping in that same train of thought. What are some trends that you're seeing with emergent technology, that whether Web3 or whatever the case may be, even AI, where you're like, hey, we need to kind of keep our eye open to this because this is going to impact us more than we realize?
AI is we're going to have a heavy focus on AI at ByteCon, not only panels but breakout sessions as well, with with folks from Microsoft, right? We're obviously leading in that space. So I'm seeing, now we all have our own virtual assistant. We all have our own, in however you want to term, like we all have our own part-time, full-time employee,
Yeah.
our own worker, so to speak, right? When it comes to tools like Copilot, which we have at Microsoft. So now with AI, we're able to do things that we can never do before at a pace that we can never do them before. We're able to scale in ways that we can never before, cut cost, be more efficient, do things like write code if you don't know how to code. If you're not the most artistic person like myself, you can create, incredible, images and graphics now with AI. We did a really cool thing at my team at Microsoft where for our weekly meeting, for our status, we all did it using a song, create with the song we created, right? So instead of saying, "Hey, I'm working on this, I'm working on that," my song, one of the first songs I've ever created, by the way, using AI for this team exercise, should let y'all hear it, but I used like a kind of like a hip hop song, and it was kind of like had an old school hip hop vibe, and it was pretty sweet. the result, the song that I created or AI created, however you want to say it. I think we might even started a trend at Microsoft where other folks might start doing it. But folks had different genres like for their report. Mine was hip hop. Other folks like classic rock, country. And it's a way to, just like that, right? I mean, that's just even stuff like that, like making stuff that's normally kind of boring, more fun. um,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's so many ways. I mean, it's really sky's the limit when you're talking about just AI in itself, right? Not even any other areas, just focused on AI. So
Awesome. And with that being said, we're going to be wrapping up soon. Obviously, they could reach out to you on LinkedIn. They could reach out to you on various other platforms as well. And we're going to post information to ByteCon below. And you know what's so funny? When you talked about the speakers, I was thinking about all the friends that I'm going to have on the show, whether it's Howard, Ty, what up, Nikki, what up, Court, like everybody that is going to be part of that. It's really kind of cool to see the whole gang together doing this, coming together and collaborating. How has collaboration impacted the growth? You mentioned having a team, of course, but how has it impacted the growth of ByteCon over the years?
yeah, wow. I mean, it's impacted the growth tremendously, like exponentially. Like, um, I get stories and testimonials all the time of people working on things as a result of like meeting at ByteCon and as a result of going to ByteCon, and people who are doing things as a result of meeting folks at ByteCon and as a result of going to ByteCon. I just had a conversation last week with a colleague who literally was like, man, since your conference last year to where I am now, I'm like a completely different like person. And like I was motivated. It's not like I wasn't motivated before, like ByteCon, but like going to the conference, it really just put an extra like an extra like push, for everything that I was, trying to get done. And now I look back, from then to now, he's completed boot camp. He's on his way to completing his CompTIA right now. I mean, he's a he's a TA at the boot camp that he graduated from,
This is
helping
a
other
student. This is
students
a
now.
student. This is a student from ByteCon. You're saying?
This is an attendee from ByteCon that ended
Oh,
up
okay.
going to attend a boot camp with one of our partners at 4Geeks Academy. Now he's a full stack developer. Now he's a tutor there helping because he was an awesome student, and you got to know your stuff to be a tutor. So now he's helping other students, and he just became a full stack. So that's
Awesome.
how awesome, yeah. And it all he said, it the person who got him to start the program he met at ByteCon. That's what I'm saying. You're like, how is it,
Wow.
you know? So he met them at ByteCon. They got him to sign up. Now, fast forward a year later, full stack developer. He's tutoring at the school, helping other students now, and that's a job too. So he's also got a job, and he's getting his CompTIA and on and on. So it's like that's just one example, but you can imagine, there's many others. Um,
Yeah. No, that's
yeah,
that's
I was on
encouraging.
another podcast last week. One last thing, I
Yeah.
he admitted he was like, I was on with Lloyd Richard with his breaking into startups, or what was it called? I think, yeah, startups on the block. Sorry, and he was like, yeah, he was like, and he said it himself. He was like, I saw Robert McNair. Robert works with me at Microsoft. Session on Chat GPT. He was like, I couldn't come to the conference, but I saw he was doing it on Chat GPT, and he was like, I immediately reached out to him and had him do the same thing at their opening bit Blacks in Technology meeting, for his chapter. So, it's just little stuff like
Wow.
that. It's like, wow, that's super cool. So, yeah,
No, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Temante, for sharing
yeah.
your experiences and sharing ByteCon and what people could look forward to. So, y'all, if y'all in the Miami, Florida area, definitely take advantage of this opportunity. There's going to be links in the description of the video below. So, definitely go ahead, participate in ByteCon, sign up today, and bring somebody with you. It doesn't have to
We have
be
a
by
whole week.
yourself.
We have a whole week of different events going on.
Yep.
Not just a conference for ByteCon conference, but we have ByteCon week,
ByteCon
which
week.
is
Could you talk about that a little bit before we go? Talk about ByteCon week
yeah,
again.
yeah. That's April 21st to April the 28th. Literally 8 days full of events. We got 12 venues, 8 days, three parties. A 2-day tech conference. a Tesla light show, a Wakanda ball. Too much for me to even say. Go on the website, check it out. Check out everything we got going on from Sunday the 21st to Sunday the 28th. We've been going to Miami Shores Country Club, hitting the golf course up for those that like to play golf, getting our wellness in. It's gonna be, we got the happy hours going on. We got the hotels for anybody coming in town that wants to do the staycation.
Nice.
It's definitely, and then the conference is going to be crazy. Like I said, over 60 speakers, 2 days. We're going to have a robot performance there. I mean, it's, I don't want to give it all away,
A
but
lot.
definitely, yeah, you want to check it out for sure.
Oh, wow. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Temante, for providing all the information, y'all. And this has been another episode of Techniche Tips. Like always, I always say this, and I always hope that you get to be able to experience this as well. But truly, I do hope that we see you on the other side in this tech space. Take care, family. Have a great rest of your weekend.